Hello guys, welcome once again to Think Tank TV. Now, what happened in Arise News this morning is actually the reason why when this day decided to give Chief Barrister Ezebunwonya Someke the FCT Minister, the Minister Award, he was actually surprised that how come that these people who always call my name, Wike every time on their station can go ahead to give me the best performing minister. However, sometimes I begin to wonder that the democracy we're practicing in Nigeria, which is actually supposed to be the best form of democracy, has it actually taken us forward or is it taking us aback? Because when you take a look at the political crisis in Rivers State, after Governor Fubara was locked out yesterday by the 27 lawmakers that have been affirmed by the Supreme Court, and FCT Minister Wike went ahead to give his press statement, a lot has unfolded. And in the early hours of this morning, the issues was discussed in Arise News with Dr.reubenabati, Ojini Rufai, and the Arise News crew. And trust me, Dr. Abati and Rufai has gone ahead to send Minister Wike to the dry cleaners. Yes, they have also allegedly said that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is the one that is empowering Wike to continue to behave the way he's behaving. I'd like us to jump right into Arise News so that you can see things for yourself. But please don't go anywhere because I'll be coming back to give you the reactions of what Nigerians have to say about the words of Dr. Reubenabati and Arise News that has sparked reactions on the internet.
Well, the saga continues, is what some may say. Rufai, your take on this? I know we delved into this a little bit yesterday as well.
A couple of things, like I said yesterday. Impeachment is on the cards. After this press conference with Wike, I'm now very sure. Because Wike's words, not my words. Nothing will happen if impeachment is done. He even went further to say those that are threatening and saying all sorts. He said, what's the big deal about it? Then he went and attacked or sounded off on the comments made of the people of the Ijo extraction. You see, that Ijo conundrum was easier for Wike than when he wanted to play the politics of governance in Rivers. He played the Ijo card with Fubara. Today, the same Ijo people are talking. He's saying, is it only them? Is it only them? So that's to show you, when this Baba Sokwe crazy politics starts, and Baba Sokwe crazy is my coinage for government of the Godfather, it's always about their own interest. Today, the Ijo people that Wike is pushing back on, and the likes of Pandev, this was the same card he played when he was about to bring Fubara in. The fact that, it's going to be the first Ijo person. So, like Dele Faro TV says, don't die in their war. Then the drama of what happened yesterday. Alagbo George, the spokesperson of the Rivers State House of Assembly, said, Fubara is the issue. They had sent him a request to come all this while. He rebuffed them. Now he's coming for drama's sake. Is that why they should close the gate against the governor? All of a sudden, Mr. Wike is holding the ace in this fight. He's now saying, respect the rule of law. But you see, the truth is, Mr. Wike cannot do this without President Tinubu. The ball will stop at the door of the president. Just like it has now showed with the meeting of the Lagos lawmakers yesterday with the president, that everything that happened in Lagos, he knew about it. But the question I keep asking is, you keep emboldening this Mr. Wike. Hope you will not complain when he wants to challenge you with that power you emboldened him with. Because we have seen the rise and fall of godfathers. And we also forget that godfathers have godfathers.
Yeah, wisdom.
So we should be careful. It's already on the card. I don't know how Fubara is going to be able to get out of this. It's his fight to fight. Will he be able to fight till the end? I don't know. But with that indication of if he's impeached, what will happen? Heaven will not fall. It's an indication that might be on the cards. So the drama in Rivers has continued, being aided by Godfather and Baba Sokwe Kresi. But the godfather that is aiding a godfather should remember that at some point, godfathers will also fight. Maybe God the Father will settle them.
Okay, first, the timeline of the conflict in Rivers State, which has now become a house of war and an affliction on Nigeria. Now, as we know, former Governor Wike, now Minister Wike, insisted that he brought Fubara to be governor. That in itself is a comment on the status of Nigeria's democracy. Exactly. On the integrity of democracy in Nigeria. That people will have the confidence publicly to say, I installed this person, I did. Wike has said many times that he financed it. Fubara did not spend single-handedly any money to become president. To the extent that we're still in 2027, many years after the return to civilian rule in 1999, the godfathers will still say that I put you there and I will tell you what to do there. It's an assault.
Yeah.
He's moaning. What to do there is an assault on the choice of the people, on the freedom of the people to choose their own leaders. That's number one. And Wike has been very insistent on this fact. And that is the foundation for the claims that he makes to Rivers State. Number two is that we have seen a situation like this before in the past when they had the wild west. It was also about conflict among godfathers and even the intervention of the federal government supporting one party against the other. And the West, you had that blowout. There's a script called The Blowout, focusing on that particular issue. Now, I think that it would be very unfortunate if Nigeria repeats that ugly history and you have a second blowout coming from the south from Rivers State, because it will seem to me that the objective practical conditions that we have seen in Rivers State will seem to be very similar to the kind of blowout that we experienced in the Wild West in the First Republic. And that means that President Tinubu's work in terms of how he has intervened in Rivers State is not finished. He has to make sure that there is not a blowout from that region on his head, creating problems for the greater Nigerian polity. What is the third point? Now let's go to the details. Now, as part of this crisis, the president intervened the first time. Then again, the crisis persisted, and then the parties went to court. Then the Supreme Court gave its ruling and said that Governor Fubara should follow certain conditions. And yesterday, Governor Fubara, coming from the meeting with the president and other stakeholders, governors and other stakeholders who went for iftar with the president of Nigeria, decided to go to the State House of Assembly to present the budget afresh, as had been directed by the Supreme Court. But he met a blocked gate. He was refused entry, and he had said that he had sent a letter asking for a meeting, which was rebuffed. He was also denied entry yesterday. Now, what this means is that despite the president's intervention, second notable intervention, there is an escalation of the crisis in Rivers State, which makes it even more clear that we are going to still have more in terms of conflict and disruption to deal with in that state. Now to the other issues. Now, Wike, who has constituted himself into the ultimate godfather of Rivers State, had a television interview yesterday where he showed very clearly that the war has not ended. The fact that the jungle has now finally matured in River State, despite the interventions by persons of wisdom and reason that there should be peace and stability in River State. What Wike did yesterday was simply, with regard to River State, to instigate instability in River State. Because he said very clearly, let's deal with just that aspect, that Fubara, if he's impeached, heavens will not fall. The Constitution of Nigeria says, a governor can be impeached on the grounds of gross misconduct, and that gross misconduct is as defined by the House of Assembly. Now, these lawmakers, the 27 Wike faction in River State, they've now been empowered by the Supreme Court of Nigeria, indeed, to proceed ahead and impeach Fubara. If they do it, they also now have the support of their godfather. And that's why for President Tinubu, that state constitutes a problem so that it doesn't become the wild, wild west. Now, two things that Wike said yesterday. He said the Ijaw people are not that important, that they do not even constitute the majority in the south region. Well, that is not true. The Ijaw people, according to the literature that we have read, I stand to be contradicted, constitute the fourth largest ethnic group in Nigeria. So, Minister Wike not being an academic or somebody who is familiar with the literature, let me be nice, who doesn't understand what the literature is, can make such statements. It's not an intellectual, it's not an academic, so he can say that. But the truth of the matter is that the Ijaws constitute a major group in this population, in this Nigerian population. The second thing that he said somebody died, the late statesman Henry Clark. I don't know an Henry Clark that is from the Niger Delta. The Henry Clark that I know, who is a statesman that he probably was referring to in the context of Pandev, is a man called Edwin Kiagodo Clark. So for Minister Wike to have an interview, and when did Paike Clark die? In less than 2 weeks, he has forgotten his name.
Okay, so let's take a look at what Nigerians had to say about the reactions of Rufai Oseni and Dr. Abati. Divine said, kudos Rufai, Wike cannot do anything without Tinubu. Tinubu is even the one fighting Fubara. And Mohammed said, this fight is not all Wike and Fubara, but between presidency and Governor Fubara. Wow. But I thought President Bola Tinubu is taking the position of neutrality. Anyway, another reaction came from Sere Kara, who said he financed it. From whose money? Rivers' money or Wike's money? This is crazy. Wilcox said, well spoken Dr. Rufai and Dr. Abati. A day will come when Nigeria Senate would close doors or gates against Mr. President. History has been made in Rivers State. Owen said, it's only in Rivers you can see politicians talk anyhow and nothing will happen. Come and try it in Western world. Body could tell you. A reaction also came from Okeke, who said, this is a fight between Fubara and the president. This permutation is to intimidate Fubara and have Rivers to himself anytime, any day. Goveenor said, if I may borrow the words of Dr. Rufai, I quote, I swept for Nigeria. The decamped senators are empowered to determine the fate of the governor. There is God, though. Sina said that Shayo drunker minister is a rebel. And a reaction came from Chinedu, who said judiciary is the problem of Nigeria. Joel said, truly, if Fubara is in place today will the heaven fall. Nobody will do anything has happened safe and ingrate. We have a response from David that said, does Nigeria practice anything called democracy? And Timothy said, anybody that can speak to Tinubu about issues of Fubara should call him and allow this man to finish his 4 years, and if nothing possible for him to go the second term. Another response came from Jai, who said, Henry Clark indeed. Emmanuel said, what I've noticed on Wike's issue, if he doesn't have the backing of the president, he cannot be acting these ways. Let's forget about the purported meeting they have last time with the president. And Carol said, Vimbai, Rufai, she wanted to say, Abi, your input is very impressive. Fubara should be wary of the eyes of March. Big Belly Live said, Tinubu can only finish what he set up in his favor. He set everything up. He wants Fubara to surrender Rivers State to APC for his final conquest in Rivers State. And Felix said, well said, Vimbai. Rufai, you mean? Godwill said Tinubu intervened in Lagos Assembly matter and resolved it, but when it comes to Rivers, he pretend innocent. And Ade said recall proceedings should be initiated against 27 legislators, period. Now, these are some of the reactions that have thrilled the crisis that is rocking the Rivers State political scene. We'd love you to do well to drop your own thoughts in the comment section, and let's get to know what you think about the actions of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the FCT Minister, Goveenor Fubara, and the political intrigues in Rivers State, and we shall continually be here to serve you. Many thanks indeed to all our viewers and returning subscribers. We truly don't take it lightly. My name again is Moses. This is Think Tank. See you on our next video. Bye for now.